You didn't decide to think about them again. Your mind just opened the door like it still belongs to them. It happens in the quiet moments. When nothing is wrong, when nothing is happening, that's when they show up. Not as a memory, not as a feeling, as a presence, like they never actually left. Like something in you never finished closing. You tell yourself it's normal, that people pass through thoughts all the time. But this isn't passing. This is residency. You noticed the shift before you admitted it. The way their replies got shorter. The way your name stopped being used. The way plans turned into, "we'll see." The way you started waiting without being asked to. Nothing dramatic happened. That's the part you still can't explain to anyone. There was no fight, no goodbye scene, no final message worth screenshotting. Just a gradual removal of weight. You went from being held in their attention to being held in reserve. And you felt it. You felt it the first time you said something, and it landed somewhere behind their eyes instead of inside them. You felt it when they checked something else while you were talking. You felt it when you realized you were adjusting your tone for someone who used to adjust theirs for you. You didn't confront it. You didn't name it. You just became quieter, more careful, more optional. That was the agreement you never spoke out loud. Now they live in your head in a way that doesn't make sense to explain. You don't miss them exactly. You don't want them back exactly. You just keep returning to the last version of the room before the furniture moved. Your mind keeps walking into a conversation that never finished. That's what unfinished things do. They don't fade. They wait. You remember details you shouldn't. The way they paused before answering certain questions. The way they smiled when they were already somewhere else. The way silence started doing more work than words. You were there for the power shift. You felt it happen in real time. You just stayed seated. There's a specific kind of humiliation in being slowly demoted without being informed. Not fired, not rejected, just reassigned. From priority to background process. From someone to be considered to someone to be managed. They didn't become cruel. They became efficient. And you became cooperative. You started editing yourself. Shorter messages, less enthusiasm. You stopped bringing certain things up, not because they asked you to, because your body learned the new rules before your mind agreed to them. That's when something went unsaid. Not one sentence, a whole truth. You don't replay them in your head because you're sentimental. You replay them because your nervous system is still waiting for a conclusion it never received. Your brain hates open loops. It hates stories without endings, so it keeps returning, hoping this time it will finally hear the line that makes it all make sense. But it never comes. Instead, you keep finding yourself in moments where you almost reach out, almost check, almost say something, and then you remember how it felt the last time you did. The delay, the dryness, the way their attention had weight limit, so you don't. And that silence becomes part of the structure. You tell yourself you're over it. You function, you laugh, you move forward, but somewhere in the background, there's still a door with their name on it. Not locked, not open, just there. You didn't lose them all at once. You lost your position. That's harder to grieve, because positions don't get funerals. They just get filled. You noticed when you were no longer the first person they told things to. You noticed when someone else started occupying the space that used to be reserved for you. You noticed when your presence stopped changing the temperature of the room. You also noticed that you pretended not to. That's the part you don't like to look at. You could have said something. You could have asked what changed. You could have forced the truth into the open where it couldn't quietly rearrange your worth. But you didn't. You waited. You adapted. You shrank the part of you that needed clarity and called it maturity. So now your mind keeps doing what you refused to do back then. It keeps circling the moment where you should have spoken. Not because you want them, because you want the missing sentence. the one that explains why you became less without being told. Sometimes you catch yourself rewriting the story, imagining different timings, different words, different versions of yourself, as if one of them could still change the outcome. That's not hope. That's an unresolved negotiation. You weren't replaced by someone better. You were replaced by something easier, and you let it happen because part of you was trying to be convenient. That's a dangerous instinct, to become smaller in the presence of someone who is already leaving. You don't think about them because they mattered. You think about them because something about the way it ended taught your nervous system a new rule: that you can be slowly removed without being dismissed, that you can be present and already irrelevant, that you can feel the floor shift and still stay standing in the same place. If this feels uncomfortably specific, that's not an accident. Some things only reveal themselves when they're named by someone who isn't involved. And if you ever want to hear more things said this way, you already know where to find them. The strange part is, if they came back now, it wouldn't fix anything. The version of you that needed the answer doesn't exist anymore. It was replaced by someone who watches more, someone who expects less, someone who notices exits early. That's the real thing that stayed with you, Edine, not them. The pattern? You didn't just lose a person. You learned a new way to disappear quietly. So, they remain in your head, not as a desire, not as a memory, as an unfinished instruction. Your mind keeps checking the place where your value used to be confirmed. And every time it does, it reinforces the same question you never asked out loud. How much of me can be removed before I'm still technically here? You already know the answer. You're living inside it. And somewhere, in the part of you that still waits for that missing sentence, something else is also waiting. For the next time it happens,